Hi, my name is Ricky Shanker. This is my case connection video number 4. The first one I did was case 2, which was about a 4-day infant and PKU. So PKU is an inherited disorder that causes phenylalanine to overproduce in the body. And the reason is that phenylalanine is not broken down because of a defect in the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. The enzyme also could not be functioning properly because of a deficiency in BH4, which is tetrahydroprotein. The hydropterin, which is a cofactor for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. The reason there's a deficiency is because normally phenylalanine is converted to tyrosine, where phenylalanine hydroxylase is the converting enzyme, and BH4 is the cofactor in the surrounding environment. In this case, either the enzyme or the cofactor is not functioning. As a consequence, the amino acid tyrosine may become essential. Therefore, tyrosine would be required in the diet and must be supplied from an exogenous source, such as eating in the diet. As mentioned prior, the two causes can be from a deficiency of phenylalanine hydroxylase or a deficiency in BH4. Either one of these scenarios could be causing the phenylketonuria. The second part of the question brings in another patient, patient B, who also, they tested their levels. BH4 is essential for the metabolism of tyrosine from phenylalanine. Patient A and B were administered BH4 to see if their phenylalanine levels were increased. So patient A, when administered the cofactor BH4, shows an increased rate of phenylalanine levels, and you can see that the blue line goes up for patient A. And this shows that patient A is still unable to convert phenylalanine to tyrosine. So the levels of phenylalanine are increasing while they should be going down because we administered the BH4. So the phenylalanine to tyrosine despite being administered the cofactor. This indicates that patient A is most likely not deficient in BH4, but probably has a deficiency in the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, which converts phenylalanine to tyrosine with the assistance of BH4. But BH4 is working properly, so the enzyme probably has a malfunction. For patient B, phenylalanine levels decrease, which is the goal, after the patient is administered BH4. So this patient probably has a deficiency in BH4, the cofactor. When BH4 is administered, the patient returns to normal levels, indicating that the phenylalanine hydroxylase is working properly because the cofactor that is necessary is being administered. So it's two different scenarios for the enzyme and the cofactor for the patient. So I also listed a link below, which helped me about phenylketonuria, which is listed in my prompt. And then I talked about case 3, which was about a 47-year-old man who had pain in his toe. And the best explanation for the presentation of gout in this individual would be choice C, a decreased urinary excretion of uric acid. So the lab work shows that the patient's level of urinary uric acid output are basically half the amount of what a normal patient would secrete. So the other two choices, overproduction of purines and decreased salvage of purines, would lead to hypouricemia, which is increased elevated uric acid output, which was written in the notes as well and the PowerPoints. This is not consistent with the lab work, and the urinary acid levels have decreased. Overproduction of purines, as described in the lecture, is related to von Gierke's disease. And von Gierke's disease is the overproduction of purines due to increased flux through the pentose phosphate pathway. The second choice, decreased salvage of purines, is also related to increased uric acid and Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. And Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is a deficiency in HGPRT, which is the enzyme for purine recycling. This leaves us with the correct answer C, which is decreased urinary excretion of uric acid. And then the second part tells us that the patient was drinking, changed from diet soda to regular soda because he read that fake sugar was bad for him, but either way, both of them are bad for him. Anyway, so he informs us that he switched from diet to regular because he read that the fake sugar is bad. So he drinks in an excessive amount. We are also told that the primary sugar in most sodas is fructose. So I went back to my old lectures, and in Unit 2, and they mentioned at the end of the unit that we talked about the pentose phosphate pathway, and I looked back at my notes, and it says it talked about fructose metabolism back in week 7. So the lecture described that elevated fructose consumption can not only contribute to triglyceremia, but also gout due to increased purine synthesis. So fructose is converted to purines, and purines, once degraded, generate uric acid, and this would lead to gout. So the potential impact would be that the patient would have gout because he is switching, even though he thinks that it's a smarter thing, but it's not. So those are my 2 case connections for this week, the last one. Thank you.